I share the belief that DTH is not an end but is the soul separating from the body and leaving it empty, without the flame of life that kept it working. I also consider that we are not the owners of our souls, bodies, and lives. Indeed, ownership is an illusion. Everything we possess is merely on loan for our journey through life and remains the eternal property of the Creator, even while we use it. We borrow from His creation and transform what we borrow to make use of it or claim ownership until we depart this life and leave what was borrowed and transformed behind. Our bodies return to the creation from which everything we have comes, while the souls may be elsewhere, according to divine will. Therefore, since I considered I was not the one responsible for the creation of my life, my body, and my soul, gifts lent to me by God, over which I cannot claim ownership, I also considered that it is not my place to decide when my tense should nd. In other words, since I was not the one who united those elements, I also felt it was not up to me to separate them. Otherwise, I would be usurping the power of the one entitled to do so, which would be a great sin. I thought that the soul becomes more sensitive after the separation from the body because physical limitations imposed by the body restrict its whole experience. In life, the body limits what we can see and feel, where we can be, and our needs. Without the body, the soul might lose the ability to touch or transform things physically, yet it is freed from those limitations. I envisioned the soul as energy compressed within a container, the body. Once outside, it expands and transcends physical boundaries. Freed from the constraints of the body, the soul might gain awareness and sensitivity beyond what it experienced in life, no longer relying on the nervous system. After separation from the body, the soul could continue to sense and feel directly, potentially enhancing its compassion and connection for a fuller union with God and a deeper understanding of divine truths. Compassion. The lack of compassion is so often due to selfishness, attachment to bodily comfort, material possessions, and judgment. Elements tied to what I refer to as our bodiness. I thought that when the soul is freed from the body, it connects more deeply with the spirit and gains insights it could not grasp while confined by physical limitations. In our day-to-day lives, we may become so occupied and distracted by routines and material concerns that we may fail to reflect or fully feel. We often try to remain busy and not poised to avoid the discomfort derived from thinking. However, after DTH, the soul, now devoid of its bodily constraints, can only think and remember. In this state of nakedness, with all the thinking and remembrance, it might experience heightened awareness and empathy, realizing the transient nature of the material things it once pursued and the impact of its earthly actions. The soul would have the time to reflect on its past deeds and to feel the sorrow and mourning of loved ones. I thought the soul that caused its ration from the body could feel deeply sad and have deep remorse about the consequences and the mourning resulting from its departure when it finds itself in this state of increased awareness, sensitivity, and compassion I described above. However, when the soul is not responsible for rating from the body, I thought the sadness could become more bearable. A belief is an idea or perception that can be true and espouses our faith, shaping what we deeply consider as truth. Consequently, there is an inherent risk of being wrong, which distinguishes a belief from a fact. Without this risk, a belief would be a fact. This is why I prefer to stay reserved when debating beliefs. So, if reincarnation were confirmed, the soul that nded itself might have to return. And when returning, it could find itself again in front of what it tried to escape from, or worse. After all those strange philosophies, I cleared my desire to T.K. my L. Fei way. However, I remained highly concerned with what was happening around me. I had my job, so food for my family, taken away. I was forbidden access to many services. I could do nothing about my kids having to WRMKS all day long at school, even while having sports, etc. All this for procedure. I saw some elders P.ding to receive while they had received nothing. All this had to be accepted, and I was BL med for not C.place.ing. All the people I knew who shared their decision to get the procedure explained that they felt it was WG to be C.ned to take it. Despite their reluctance, they ultimately chose to get ed to avoid losing their jobs or being unable to pay their mortgages, bills, or food. In that NWN mal, I was the crossing ZY1 who could not take it to keep what he had. I could no longer stand it and had to go.